End of the year, we hope that we do have millions of doses, if not hundreds of millions of doses that we can distribute. But of course, the trial has to work. So
Okay.
we'll have to wait, and you can ask me this question in October, November, and I can tell you accurately if we're there or we have to again rely on some of the other candidates in the private market and distribution chains. We probably won't be able to reach everyone at the speed at which we want to reach everyone at. They're doing a trial on the BCG vaccine where it's known that BCG vaccine gives you a general boost in your immunity and could definitely reduce the severity of the disease if you are unfortunate enough to contract it. Now, we don't know how effective the vaccines are going to be. The clinical trials will only tell us that it's safe and it's giving you an antibody response, and of course you're going to be protected. But how many of those people will be protected? Will they still infect others, remain carriers? This is yet to be seen.
Thank you so much, Ada, for taking your time for India Podcast listeners and viewers. It's ultimate privilege, and it is also pertinent to have your voice as you have been reaching out and quite giving all the information as much updated to all of us by speaking on all the platforms. Thank you so much for joining us on India Podcast.
Pleasure to be with you.
I would first like to ask you one question, which has been quite coming in my mind for a long time now. Is in the situation, pandemic, COVID-19, all known and understood, everybody else is dealing with it. How does Aadhar Punewala deal with it? Because you are also taking a big responsibility there. You're taking a big responsibility, not just the risk of a lot of, because you're coming out with the new vaccine there. It's not just a risk involved in terms of a businessman, but a responsibility there. A lot of people hoping for their lives. How tough does it go for you to manage your state of mind?
Well, as I mentioned to you earlier, I've been doing this for the last 20 years, and my father before me since the 60s has been doing this, where we've always had a sense of pride and responsibility toward not only the children in India, but children worldwide. Protecting their lives and making a difference has always brought us joy and satisfaction. And our commitment to that is now even further amplified when we're hoping to make a vaccine either, with our own in-house candidates or with partnerships that we have for the rest of the world and India. So, this is just a natural extension to what we've been always doing. So the pressure is there, but we take it in our strides, and we're really anxious and hoping that we can make a further difference.
There's an understanding again from ICMR we're getting from regulatory perspective that going further, the number of cases as you go testing, the number would go increasing in folds and folds. In fact, I was told by someone in the regulatory body that it might be like 80% of the population would have the COVID-19 by end of the year. And we quite assume that we might see the vaccine be in place after all the process and trials around October, November, that time. So will it be a challenge to deal with that number surge there, or almost everybody getting it asymptomatic, symptomatic, however it is?
Well, not everyone's going to get it that fast. Typically, for a population, even with an infectious disease like this one, when you compare it to measles and flu, which is perhaps a little less infectious than this one is, it would still take 3 to 4 years to probably reach 40 to 50% of the population. Probably not more than that, because of the way India and the people live in India. For it to reach every village and every rural area would be unlikely, given the circumstances. But with further urbanization taking place and, everyone coming into the cities to work, certainly the cities will be worse hit. And maybe, yes, you could make that assumption that in the cities, in the densely populated areas, the slums and other areas, maybe you could reach, 60, 70% of an infection rate over 3 to 4 years. But look, again, this is nothing to worry about, because we found 70 to 80% of all cases have been asymptomatic, which means that you don't really have a bad case of the disease. You recover. In fact, you don't even know that you have it. And you probably are infecting, a few other people also. And of course, the good news on that is that there is an assumption, a strong scientific backing also for it, that an asymptomatic person is not likely to infect another person as badly as or as likely as a very infected person. So if you look at the way the disease is spreading, it's mainly spreading through the people who have a high viral load, and if they spend a lot of time in a close proximity with someone else, and then you inhale the droplets, and that's how it's being transmitted right now.
So it would not impact the number, the kind of doses, the number of doses you would be manufacturing. If it's been reportedly said 2 to 3 million, will you have to work enough to know where it is going? The statistics has to be quite, you have to deal with it time to time going further, even though you said that the speed would not be as fast as 80%. As we
Well,
learned.
initially, with such a large population to deal with, you're never going to have enough vaccine to cover the whole population, both in India and globally. So once we reach a stage where, we're covering a large part of the population, we'll see the disease going down a lot because of herd immunity and because of a hopefully effective vaccine. Now, we don't know how effective the vaccines are going to be. The clinical trials will only tell us that it's safe and it's giving you an antibody response, and of course you're going to be protected. But how many of those people will be protected? Will they still infect others? Will they still remain carriers? This is yet to be seen. And how long will the vaccine protect you for? So these questions will only be answered over the next year or two. And before that, we really can't conclude anything. And look, to your earlier point, you're probably wondering, if a person has already got the disease, is asymptomatic, has been tested positive, will that person still need the vaccine? Now, probably not, but we don't know that yet. The health experts will have to answer that. And, are we going to test everyone before we vaccinate them? That's another question. Do we have enough tests to do that kind of thing? Probably not. And hopefully, if someone has had the disease, they would probably say that, look, we've had the disease, do we still need the vaccine? If you're intelligent enough to ask that question, maybe you don't take the vaccine. But most people may feel that it's a necessity anyway. They want to be safe, they want to take it anyway. So as a manufacturer and as someone who understands disease, we don't know whether you still need to take the vaccine or not. And again, this is a question that will have to be answered by the experts in the months to come.
This will lead me to another important question. But before I go there, another point you made while you were answering this was clinical trials. Now, when you're saying you don't know whether the vaccine will completely heal you or would require another dose or how many doses are required, my question to you, Adar, is very simple there, that with clinical trial process, could you help us understand this trial, which has been fast-tracked now? Essentially, in any case, it takes 6 years, 3 years, or the timeline varying. How is it going to help in determining how much the vaccine is going to be effective while doing the clinical trial, once you get the trial tested through abroad and then come into India and have a human trial here also?
To have enough of a disease, the disease to be in the population, to be able to prove that in your vaccinated arm compared to the placebo arm, which gets nothing, that nobody in the vaccinated arm or very few people in the vaccinated arm get the disease. So that's how you know your vaccine's working. Now, in the UK, they've chosen around 10,000 patients to do that in. In India, when we start the trial in August, which is what I'm targeting to do for a phase 3 study, phase 2 by phase 3 study, we don't know how many patients we'll need. It'll all depend on the health experts determining, how prevalent the disease is, how many cases per 100,000 or per million there are in Mumbai and Pune, because that's where we hope to do the trial. And then we'll know exactly how many patients we need to prove that, okay, beyond reasonable doubt, the vaccine is protecting you. And if you take this vaccine, it's better than not taking the vaccine, in the placebo.
So another question there, which I was also continuing with your previous answer, was on the distribution part. Will that be a challenge now going further, especially in India as a manufacturer? You might be able to, we hope so, we might go through the trial process and get the approval very, very soon. You have started the manufacturing. What will be the process of distribution? Will government be required to step in there?
No, absolutely. The government already has a very efficient immunization program that it conducts every year for the children. And they take a bunch of other vaccines, hundreds of millions of doses from pentavalent, measles, BCG, rotavirus, so many others.
Yes.
So we will probably have to rely on that machinery and infrastructure to reach out also to adults and the rest of the population, because in the private market and distribution chains, we probably won't be able to reach everyone at the speed at which we want to reach everyone at. So, and look, most of the vaccine will probably be bought by the government to be distributed according to how they want to distribute it in the high risk areas, to the elderly, to the high risk populations, to the healthcare workers. So, it will be a combination of giving it to hospitals and to the other government outreach clinics and centers where there's already a infrastructure of medical staff and nurses and others who give vaccines. So, of course, that'll have to be beefed up because the numbers of people coming will not just be children, it'll be much more, it'll be adults and adolescents and everybody. Perhaps the elderly to begin with because they're the most vulnerable population, and then people our age would probably come last because you want to protect your children and your elderly first. Naturally, I'd want to protect my children before myself because they're more at risk than I would be being in the mid-age sort of level. And, they say that if you're over the age of, say, 70 or under the age of 5, you're probably in the vulnerable category. So we want to target that. And yes, it'll be a partnership between the government and private distributors to handle this.
Question there, almost closing towards the discussion though, but is there a fear of acceptance of the vaccine by all? There are a lot of incidents or individuals who might not agree or might not be able to align with the vaccine treatment. Also, there are cases in terms of drugs that have been released for the COVID-19 treatment where it has not been accepted by all doctors. So in that situation, is there an alternate that can be thought about?
Well, there's always been a small part of the population that has never believed in the power of vaccines. They are now convinced also with all the scientific and logical data that's out there, and that has put a lot of these rumors to rest that vaccines cause other issues and complications. But today there's such a shortage that if anyone doesn't want to take the vaccine, great, there's the next person waiting in line to take it. So, but of course, that's not the right answer because if you want the whole population to be protected, you want everyone to take the vaccine. And I think as people start taking it and even the skeptics start looking at their neighbors to see that nothing's happened to them, they will feel more confident and safe. And I'm sure everyone eventually will take it, and I hope they do, because that's the answer, toward building your herd immunity. You need the entire population to either, God forbid, get the disease or get vaccinated. One way or another, get exposed so that your immune system can take care of any future disease attacks and prevent yourself and protect others from getting infected as well. So that's the end goal and objective of where we need to land up.
Right, because that might be the reason why we hear a theory also. In our country, people are more prone to going for vaccines for children in all particular disease, and so we are much more immune to it.
Okay.
Last question directly to ask you. We might see the vaccine come out when? How soon? I mean, trials going by August. So do we see it come by the end of the year? And you've spoken
end of the year. Well, we're hoping that if the vaccine works, because we're going to be manufacturing at risk to build up a certain amount of stock. End of the year, we hope that we do have millions of doses, if not hundreds of millions of doses that we can distribute. But of course, the trial has to work. So
okay.
We'll have to wait, and you can ask me this question in October, November, and I can tell you accurately if we're there or we have to again rely on some of the other candidates that will come about early next year. We've got other candidates which will work in the second quarter of next year, and other companies have got Indian companies also have got candidates that they're working on. So maybe you'll have 1 or 2 vaccines this year. Maybe you'll have some more coming out next year. We'll have to wait and see.
Thank you so much, Adar, and congratulations. Thank you. Gratefulness for you to start manufacturing and with being so confident, taking the risk for the population and the interest of the nation and the world. Thank you so much for your time during the podcast.
Thank you. Pleasure.